So today's educational video will be about should I cross grade a 9 to a 10 and aspects to look for if it was just a grader's bad day, if they their dog got kicked in the morning and they're like, you know what, this one's a 9 9 9 9, and so is it a good idea to break this out and cross it from a 9 to a 10? So we're going to assess these 4 cards. But first, before doing any of that, you first want to make sure that whatever you're looking at is the actual card and not the crap on the case. And how to do that, you want to get this lovely plastic X. Or plastics. This is a wonderful liquid that really takes the buffering out of the case. And so what you want to do, put a little dab there. It's fine, just resting on the case, and take a microfiber. I have this green microfiber, and you first want to just swirl it around, all around the case, majority on the card, obviously, all around the case. It should be a cloudy kind of substance. Move it around, do it on the back. You could do another squirt on the back if you want. Just make sure nothing is, oh, there we go. Make sure nothing is showing up that's on the case, a scratch on the case. And we just want to make sure we're looking at the card. So after waiting maybe like 30 seconds, take and go to a dry section of the rag and just buff it out, and you can see clear night and day difference between before a slab got the plastic X and after, and it is a wonderful thing you just want to have in your tool belt when you are grading and assessing cards. So once that is done, is nice and shiny, there's no, like, I feel like I'm holding the card right now. I don't see any plastic, and it's just wonderful. Obviously, when you do that, you can see it. But anyway, the first aspect you want to do, there's 4 areas of what a card is assessed. First, I like to just look at the centering. So I just look on the top, compare it with the borders. The E-Series is a little bit hard because these kind of areas kind of move to the back, and even in Japanese, it's hard to assess because these aren't the perfect the perfect blue, like, okay, cool, yeah, 4 corners and they're spaced all evenly. This is a little bit more difficult, but you can kind of get the gist of, like, okay, is this yellow more protruding to the left or more protruding to the right? Same for the top and bottom. So the centering is pretty good. I can see it kind of maybe tilted maybe to the right a little bit, but definitely within the 10 area. And so I would say, okay, check. That is good, and it can be crossed to a 10. Next, I would look at the surface. And this, you just have to look with and this is why it's so important to get the plastic X, because you want, or plastics, because you want to make sure if there's any scratches in the hollow foil. And from what I can see, there's nothing. No scratches whatsoever. You want to do all directions too. So here, I don't see anything. And also the back. Just because the back isn't hollow foil doesn't mean that it doesn't have scratches. So I don't see any scratches going on. And then the next is the edges. So you want to look at the edges right here. And this is where it's going to be the majority of the issues. Because Japanese cards, if you want to see anything wrong with them, just turn to the back. It'll show you everything. So you want to move down the card right here and have the little space for you to see. Top looks good. Edge looks good, and here's where we're going to run into the problem. I don't know, let me see if you guys can see that. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but right there you can see there's whitening right here, and there's whitening right here. But for the edges purposes, this right here would affect edges. Right there. And let's go right here. Okay, and then corners. Corners, this a little whitening right here, and this whitening right here. This is, I would deem that this more than likely does not cross to a 10 because of the whitening issues. Whitening, it's very easy to point out, and can be dinged pretty hard at PSA. And that's somewhat similar with CGC as well. So I don't think this could be a CGC 10 either. So it's for a 9. It's a 9, but it's a beautiful 9. I mean, from the front, I mean, there's literally nothing difference with this from 9 to 10. And you got 2 swirls right here. I don't know if you can see that, 2 swirls. It looks like a little halo is going around Mew as well. You can barely see that, but I just love this card. This is one of my favorite cards, so I'm glad I could get it relatively cheap. And then next we'll go into the Ho-Ho. And again, if you swirl, look at that wonderful swirl. I actually do have this one on eBay, listed on eBay. Let me see if it was in focus. There we go. Yeah, look at that swirl. Anyway, all right, so first, again, centering. I'll go for this a little bit quicker since you know my style. It looks like it's a little bit tilted to the right, but still within the 10 parameters because it's 60-40. Going through, okay, centering on the back looks good, and then goes toward surface. Going to the surface, actually, okay. I don't know, okay, can you see this? So, first of all, you see that, whatever the heck that is, and then the major thing is right here. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can really see it right there. So it looks like this is a surface scratch, and that's a problem. Scratches are highly kind of like, you know, looked down upon in the scene of the PSA, and I just got to make sure it's not on the case and on the card, and I can see that it's on the card. So kind of indent right there and scratch right there. So that's a big whammy, and then everything else is wonderful. There's nothing I can see on all the sides. So it's just because of that scratch. That's why it got a 9 right there. So that's, again, another one that I'm like, you know, this is, I mean, it's not even a really expensive card. It's like maybe $50. And then at 10, it's maybe $100. So it's not even worth the risk to crack it out, submit it for another $15 just to get it back in a 9. So, and it's first edition. But wonderful Ho-Ho. So I'll just keep this in a 9. Next, we got Typhlosion. This hollow foil doesn't hit as hard. I'm surprised. It's like I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, it's not as popping like obviously the Mew all in your face. But anyway, so going centering, I can see it's pushed up a little bit. As you can see, this is thicker on the bottom than on the top, and pushed to the left a little bit, or tilted like this. So this is a little thicker, and this is a little thicker, so you can see it's kind of like tilted. So centering, I would say this is relatively in the same. I would say it's on the brink of a 9 and a 10. So on centering, you can really tell on the back. These Japanese cards, you can tell, especially old back, you can tell very immediate. They did this just for centering, but you can see it's literally just tilted. And some graders are very harsh on them. Some graders are not harsh on that. So I will go to the surface. Let me wipe this down a little bit. There we go. Surface looks really good. Nothing I can see. And then go on the front. Surface. Yeah. It looks like the only problem with this card is the centering. And if I get a good grader, or a grader that isn't too harsh on the centering, then it maybe be a 10. But yeah, the centering is a little too bad for me to send it off to PSA. And again, if you want to buy this card, I think it's like $50 or something, and you want to cross it, go for it. But again, the risk and reward, I mean, this card is maybe $100 in the 10. I don't know. It's not that expensive. And then the last one, we got the Electroid EX. This hollow foil is awesome. This one I bought in a collection. I'm really surprised it didn't get the 10. So I'll go break it down. So centering looks good, all 4 sides. Yeah, looks really good. Centering, surface really good. On the back, I don't see any problems at all. Yeah, no problems whatsoever. Edges. Yeah, no edging wear, no edge wear. Yeah, don't see, maybe a tiny dot right up there. And then corners are probably gonna see this corner right here, a little tiny ding. I don't know if you can even see that. Little tiny ding right there. Little tiny ding right here. But heck, even my Legendary Collection Mewtwo, maybe a tiny ding right there, Mewtwo got a 10, but its edgeware was a little bit more noticeable than this. So this is probably my only one that I would feel comfortable crossing to a 10. Again, the risk is there. The Electrode EX in a 10. It's maybe breaking $200, something like that. So again, is it worth the time and effort just to get it back and maybe sell it for, you know, $50, $100 more? Sometimes it is, but I feel like this is possibly 100% a. I said possibly 100%, but this is possibly a PSA 10 candidate. So that's how I assess my cards. So those are 4. So the probability of cracking out is these 2, the highest probability, and these 2 are the lowest because of the scratch and then because of the edgeware. So, but again, the risk tolerance. Okay, do I want to gain $50 or $100 more? It's up to you. So, and also by cracking it, you could possibly damage the card and a whole bunch of other stuff. So. And you could definitely get an 8. This could go down to an 8 just because the different grader you had now had a you know, 2 dogs kicked of his. But anyway, that's gonna be the video. I'll talk to you guys in another one, just a quick fast one. So see you guys in another video.